want to get some coffee or something?
Can I get a cup of coffee? Black? Can't you see we talking? White?
Even little kids in Mexico drink coffee.
Well, I'm not a little kid in Mexico, okay?
That is the best coffee I've ever tasted.
A damn fine cup of coffee.
You want a cup of coffee?
No coffee.
Coffee drinker, huh?
Maybe we could grab some coffee?
Coffee! Coffee, 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 coffee!
How you doing, fellas? That's not decaf, is it?
Viennese cinnamon.
Worst intro ever. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the show that lasts as long as my delicious coffee. I did a double shot today, so hopefully I'll get boosted up here pretty quickly. Who's all here today? Let's see. Dr. Dragon is the first one in the house, followed by Das Wolfen, who is also on the show. Gap After Dark. Good morning, Gerry. Well, Keith's not here yet. I don't know where the fuck they are. I sent the invites to the group. Over on Facebook, it's called the Morning Wrecking Crew. That's the name of the group. And I send everybody over on Facebook their invites. We'll see if those sons of bitches show up today. Because it's House of Dragons Day. Dork Knight is in the chat. For some reason, not on the show. Good morning. The fuck, dude? Have you completely abandoned us? I just want to know, Danny.
He was too lazy to watch it.
Is that what happened? D-Bud Martin is in the house. What is up, my friend? Stream Elements is in the house, letting you know how important we are. Penny is in the house. Good morning, Penny. Yell at your son for me. Well, I see Anima is also in the chat. Christopher Carroll is here. Christopher, of course, is the first cousin of Christmas Carol. I'm waiting on that one.
You're going to be waiting a while.
All right, fuck you guys. All right.
But make jokes that are actually funny. Try that.
Ouch.
Oh, I'm getting the look.
Eastland Burkholder is here. And that is it right now. The crowd is slowly trickling in. Again, like my prostate. And we move forward with today. It again is House of Dragon Thursday. I thought Six was going to be here for this stuff. I thought she wanted, wasn't she part of the wanting to do House of Dragons? I thought she was. Hold on.
I think so.
At 6. I will, there she is. Who else wanted to do it? Marshall wanted to do it too, I thought. But, we'll see. We'll see who shows up. And then Keith, John, would you do the honors?
Sure.
Thank you.
Be back in a minute.
Because I don't know if he's even read today. Let me go look. Yeah, you and Scott are the only ones that read it. Keith is probably fell asleep.
Let him sleep for a bit.
Well, I think he wants to do this. As I recall, I thought he wanted to do this, so I'm not sure. Good morning, Darius Munchausen. How are you, my friend? It's good to see everybody here. Oh, my goodness. This last episode, Jesus Christ.
Right?
I mean, the way I wrote it when I wrote my quick review after watching it was the last scenes were worth the price of admission. I was like, holy shit. Because I thought they were going to kill him. I thought they were going to kill that character. I was just like, shit.
Who?
I'm like,
The crab eater.
What's
Crab
that?
feeder. Whom did you think they were killing?
I don't want to say yet. So I'm
Okay.
going to wait till we get into it.
He's on his way.
We'll see in about 20 minutes.
No, he picked up the phone on the first call this time.
Oh, that's
You must
unusual.
have caught him on the way to the toilet.
Tin Man is here. Good morning, my friend. Newman's Blend is really good. We have a Keurig here too, but it takes too fucking long. I can actually make a cup of coffee faster, microwaving my water.
Don't you have
annoying.
kettles over there?
Yeah, but nobody uses them.
Everybody.
Old people do. Old people do.
All the world uses them, Gary.
That's what I use as my curing. That's all I use.
Yeah, Keurig is good, but it takes too long for me. I need it within 3 minutes. I need my coffee fully heated in 3 minutes. And because I use instant coffee, but we have a Keurig with all the little cups things, and they have several different roasts that I like. All of them I like. Having Newman's Blend. I love Newman's Blend. I love Newman's anything. I love my favorite spaghetti sauce that is commercially made is actually theirs. It's all natural. There's no chemicals in it. And it's Newman's own Saccaroni. It's so fucking hot and spicy. And I just freaking love that. Penny.
You should watch it. It's so good.
Yes.
And good is rare these days. It's so
Agreed.
sad.
Nobody wants to see Matt Smith fucking a girl. It's a fact.
Yeah.
And hopefully we'll never see that again. But it is George R.R. Martin's adapted show, so there's probably going to be some fucking here and there. But that's what fast forward is through.
Yeah, I don't watch those scenes, so
Nobody
Doesn't
does.
bother me.
They're gross.
yeah.
I want to get to the story. You know, when you tell me that them fucking have something to do with telling the story, I'll stop and watch. But a lot of times you get some juicy dialogue like right after they fuck. So you fast forward right to the end of it and then you watch the last bit of it and then you get some subterfuge.
Danny, don't text. Talk. Hop on the panel.
What the hell, dork?
I need at least two. They're all deserting us here.
Come on, dork. Get in here. It's so good. Oh, I missed that. Eastland Burkholder said, I like Dr. Who, Matt Smith. And then you type like you don't know how to type. A couple of words. Who could miss his today? Anything watchable,
What?
life, court. That's what you read it.
It's
Who
good
could
make.
miss
Good make.
his
Somebody
today?
translate?
Anything watchable. That's English. It's just bad typing. She fucked up.
Okay.
Like I do sometimes, where I put the wrong letters in. Life at
I
court offers fertile ground for writing. Good story, so dangerous. Totally fucking agree. I can join in a few, listening in while working on something. That means he's pooping.
TMI.
That's dork night code for I'm on the toilet taking a poop.
Well,
My advice
thanks
to
to
you,
use
dork,
not
don't
code
take
anymore.
Don't take poop. Leave it. Leave it there in the John.
Harry, stop it.
And with that, I want to make sure I'm going through your list to make sure I said hello to everybody. Yes, I got everybody. Yay. All right. So where do we start on this? I mean, do we want to just do a complete breakdown of episode 3?
No, we can.
Why
Just that's
I'm going to go get a synopsis for it.
Well, I don't know, but it seems like they've dropped the king's health problems, although you could see he's missing a couple
No,
of
they
fingers.
haven't. No, they haven't.
No, the
Not at
king's
all.
got a lot of issues.
He's getting worse.
And my concern is that this is all going to lead to his death,
Yeah,
his
it is.
demise,
I
because
mean, he's drinking all the time because he's in pain.
he drinks all the time, and he is quizzling a lot and wringing his hands a lot. He seems to even doubt his own decisions, even though he argues that, my decisions are paramount. But then he suffers from questions of his own leadership, and leading to that hunt scene. And the hunt scene is really part of his problem. And it's troubling to watch. I mean, like Enema had said to me, she liked how troubled he was over killing that giant, whatever the hell that thing was, elk, whatever it was, stag.
Yeah. Well, he didn't really want to, and he was hungover as hell.
Head injury, typing in autocorrect is demonic seeming after typing misspellings too much. The autocorrect. No, I run into this shit with autocorrect all the time. What I hate about my autocorrect is there's no way I don't know how to stop it from censoring me. I will say fucking, and it goes F asterisk 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 asterisk. And I'm like, why are you censoring me?
Mine changed it to duck and ducking.
Oh, that'll do it to me too.
Yeah.
That fucking aggravates me more than anything. And I'll go, fuck you, autocorrect, and it'll still censor me when I'm saying it to it.
What bothers me most is that I'm texting in a couple of languages, not just one. And before I think the last update, I could switch the autocorrect to the language I was typing in. And then the update came, and now I can't switch the autocorrect, which means the autocorrect runs on like 5 languages, and it's messing up everything. I hate it. But when I deactivate it, I have to do all the accents for the Croatian, and I'm too lazy for that. So sometimes I'm texting nonsense.
Are you talking about the Nexus comic that Mike Barron started? Because I'm not keeping up on it. I know the name Steve Rudes, but did he start up Nexus? Is he doing Nexus now? Huh. I'm not really seeing what's going on. I don't know what's going on. I don't read comics anymore, though. I read graphic novels, trade paperbacks. And, of course, a trade paperback is just basically like a comic series that's gathered into one comic or graphic novel format. It's not officially a graphic novel unless it's written as a graphic novel. So we call them trade paperbacks. If Barron's involved, it's going to be fucking good. And I like his art, Rude's art. But anyway, yeah, come on, Tim, man, don't derail me. Jesus Christ. Fuck, man. Bill Barkley does that enough. So we've got this episode dealing with the king wanting to marry off his daughter. She sees this as a threat to her being the heir to the throne. And it's sort of difficult to watch those scenes because it's just, showing piss poor communication between father and daughter.
Well, she doesn't want to be married. She says that in the first episode when her mother is pregnant. She says, I'd rather serve as a knight than fight for battle.
She resents that her best friend is now married to her father. I don't know how I feel about that because I knew it was coming, but I don't think they did a good job of explaining why she resents it. They just show her resenting it. I'm hoping that they dig into that a little bit rather than just making it the obvious hatred of a character moving up in rank and suddenly hating them. It's stupid.
I think they had a thing.
Oh, sexual?
Yeah.
Well, you
Yeah,
get that.
me too.
You absolutely get that from when she says what she says later to her dad, or to, I think, the knight. She says it to the knight that has to guard her, that she wants to marry who she wants to marry, or some shit like that. And and the way she says it makes it sound like a woman, and I'm assuming it's her, because they were showing them, very physically chummy with each other.
Yeah,
And the thing that bugs me about that is, what you're saying then is that every single time you see somebody of the same sex being chummy with each other that way, they have to be gay. That bugs me because I'm physically chummy with my friends, and I know a lot of girls are chummy with their friends, holding hands, hugging, snuggling, and there's nothing untoward going on between them. There's nothing. But that's Hollywood. They want to do that. So they do that in the story. I really don't care. It doesn't bother me any way, shape, or the other. I just think that it's a cheap way of showing things and not showing how close friends really are with each other without trying to say, oh, they're gay. Oh, my.
well, you have two situations there. The first one is what John says, because I felt it too. I felt that they were somehow
Well, that's because you know how
intertwined.
Hollywood
But
writes those tropes.
and the other
Yeah.
thing is it's a double betrayal, because her father getting married to her signifies I may lose my position,
Right.
and seeing her friend marrying her father is like her friend is an accomplice of she losing her position. So I think there is no need for an in-depth
And I am
explanation.
certain that if she does have a thing for her, that knowing her dad is stooping the love of her life or love interest is got to be psychologically fucking damaging. But it's all about
that's why she's behaving like a lovesick teenager.
Yeah, and she's not even a teenager at this point.
She's
17. We're now 4. No, it's like
18.
We're 4 years.
It's a
from
3-year
when
jump.
the first episode was.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and she was 15, so
Yeah, so she's definitely 19.
No, he says
no,
she's 17.
18.
Yeah.
18.
Then their math is bad because they've done 2-year jumps each episode.
The series says she's 17.
Well, the first jump was only 6 months.
Was it? I thought it was.
Yeah,
2
no, it was
years.
only 6 months.
Okay, I stand corrected.
And I think the knight's going to fit in there somewhere that she picked, the one that's been Gardner.
Kristen.
Well, look, there's
He's
chemistry
nice,
there. I like his character. My concern is George R.R. Martin likes to make us like a character and then murder them.
Yeah.
So I'm hesitant to like him too much. It's like all of you who like him, stop it. You're going to kill him. Stop liking him.
But he's sexy.
Or as Arnold would say, stop it. Stop it.
It's not a tumor.
But I'm stopping myself from liking any character too much because
Well,
of that,
George
because
R. R.
what he
Martin
does.
is notorious for that because it's not because he's a great writer. He's not. He writes those characters with the intent of making you like them and then murdering them. And that makes him a fucking complete cunt as a person. That's why I don't like him on a personal level. I think he's a real piece of shit. And that's why I was so happy when I tagged him in that comment where he posts that picture of him wearing the supporting the Orville Nation, Orville. And it's like, I love the Orville, and I said, that's great. Get back to fucking writing. Stop watching TV.
Well, George is not a great writer, but he is a great world builder.
Yeah.
Well, this is the same thing. I brought this up previously, that he and J.K. Rowling are very similar in world building because she's a terrible writer. If you've ever actually read those books, if you're not a young adult and you're an adult reading that, you're like, wait a minute, this isn't even written in a way for young adults. This is written like a young adult.
Yeah,
And
somehow, yeah.
And it's weird because you don't want to write like a young adult when you write for young adults. You want to write in a way that's they can understand it, but still write well.
The writing does grow up a bit, though. Like
I
when
don't
you
know.
compare the
I
first to
stopped
the last
reading
book, there's a difference.
I stopped
read
reading
them all.
after the third book, and all three of them were written like a young adult wrote them. And it was just her way of phrasing things. It was just
Yeah, but
weird.
when you look at the last book, there's definitely a difference. It does grow.
Yeah, there
a
is.
bit.
I'll take you guys' word for it because I won't read them anymore. The knight is being set up to be the low-class, higher-class romance partner. That's clear, because he's not in her station. And that's what
And
the
he can't
king wants.
marry anyway.
He wants her to marry somebody that will lift her station or keep it at a level to where when she becomes queen like that. But you watch, she's going to push the fucking envelope. She's going to be the troublemaker. She's going to be probably secretly in love with her queen right now, and but also enamored with this young knight. And the young knight is going to be the one she probably picks.
But he can't be picked. He can't marry.
The interesting thing that I'm starting to feel a vibe about is that what's his name? Doctor Who, Matt Smith's character.
Yeah, Damon
is starting to feel like he is going to be the unlikable hero of the story.
Damon the Carpathian?
What's
Or
that?
Damon the Carpathian or Vigo Targaryen?
They're pretty much the same character.
I think there's definitely something going to happen with him and Rhaenyra.
Yeah.
They're going to team up or something.
And I don't know how you can feel sexually aroused by that girl because she looks 12 years old in the face. And there's nothing sexually attractive about her. And it's troubling. It's like, does that say something about Hollywood?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Oh, my.
Oh, my. So, I don't know. Just going through the episode, we get the scene where they capture the stag, and the king is given the royal spear, and he's got to kill it. And when he stabs it, the guy they're trying to show how inept he is. He is not a warrior king. He doesn't know how to kill a stag. His knight or whatever that fucking dude was goes, "Here you go, your lord. Stab right here, right
a
here.
little more to your left."
And then he does, and then pulls it out, and the stag's like suffering. And this is, of course, doing damage to him psychologically. Why aren't you here, Scott? Good morning, my friend. So this knight goes, "A little more to your left, your highness, a little more to the left, right here." That's to show an ineptness of the king. They're trying to show that he's inept in some way. And he's inept. He is not a war king. Some kings aren't war kings. They don't know how to be war kings. That's who this guy is. That's why he's afraid of war. And they're trying to show that he's actually timid about war, even though war is coming, whether he likes it or not. He has people plotting against him, people that were within his own circle, because he's such a bad war king. But the big shock will be if this is really well written, the big shock will be he is that guy that doesn't want to open that box with his guns. That gunslinger who gave up the fight to try to be a peaceful leader, and then has to reopen it, and then you see a different side of him. This is going to be interesting if they go that direction. I don't know. I don't know. I've never read any of this stuff. Some of you might have read the books, because I hear that there's a House of Dragons book. Is it true?
Yeah, there is. I haven't read it.
Yeah, I don't give two high-flying fucks about George
Fire
R. R.
and Blood.
So I don't know.
I'd
what
like to
happens
give it a try, but
My reading list is like
the
books
reason
long.
why, if you watch the episode, Scott, is that it's next to impossible to get to him. And he had to get to the mindset. And I know that mindset where you just simply accept your own death, that you will do anything and everything knowing you're likely going to die doing it. And it's hard to get to that mindset, Scott. And they showed Matt Smith's character got there. He realized that it's all over. It's over for him. In that scene where he's saying, I mean, one of the guys there, the cousin or whatever the fuck he was, son of the other guy, was fucking mouthing him as he's fucking there, talking shit about Matt Smith's character. And then that fucking messenger comes up, gives him the message that nobody supports you anymore. You're on your own. You fucked up in your 2 years. And
in fact, the message was, we're sending you support.
Yeah, it was sending the king.
Yeah,
then why did he fucking beat the messenger?
Because that's what tips him off, because he'd rather go kill himself than accept his brother's help.
Exactly.
Really?
Exactly.
Okay,
Yes.
I read that. Yes. I read it totally differently.
That's why he beats him to a pulp, and then he goes alone to the enemy, pretending to surrender. Then he goes off on a killing spree, but he's prepared to die because.
Yeah, and the whole thing about the surrender, and this is part of that individual decision to accept death, is that he needed to get close enough. And doing the surrender allowed him to get close enough, even though all those warriors are going to get him. If you notice, the battlefield forces them to narrow their lines. This is something that was used by William Wallace in the actual Battle of the Bridge, which was not in an open field like it was in the movie. It's a bridge battle. And what he did is he forced the British to cross a bridge that only allowed 1 to 2 at a time coming out. And they just slaughtered them.
Yeah, but Damon did not expect to survive that. He just wanted to go out.
No, he expected to die doing what he was going to do. And his last act, knowing he was dead, was to kill the Crab King. And he fucking survives.
Yeah, well, I see him thinking toward his brother, you're not taking this one from me too.
Bad Channel, I don't agree with you. I don't think it had anything to do with the glory. I think this had to do with the essential need to finish somebody. And
this one, but Chinatsky's saying here.
Because I think he does have an eye on the throne, and he wants to get to it through war. And he's a scary character, but at the same time, he's a warrior king. That's what he is. And they're saying in the show through the writing that is not who the king is. But the fact is you see little hints of things with him every once in a while. You'll see a little bit of rage in the king's eye. And I think they are subtly, and I've not read the books, as a writer, the first thing I read there is that there's something more to the king than what we're getting. We are being intentionally fed this information about the king to make us think one way about him. I don't know. Never read the books, so I don't know.
I think the whole thing about Damon wanting to kill himself and wanting to go out in a blaze of glory changed as soon as the rest of the troops showed up. He's like, because I think he went out there's like, fuck it, they're not going to do anything. I'm going to do it.
Well, Lena shows up on his dragon, like a Deus Ex Machina, and I didn't really like that because we had no setup for that. All of a sudden, there's this guy on a baby dragon. That is. We did because if you watch the Crab King, he's constantly every time Matt Smith kills somebody, he's looking up for.
Yeah, he keeps looking up on the ridgeline. Yep. Yeah, I really like that battle scene. It was very well done. It was tactically done well, written well. Somebody paid attention to War College. And that's all you got to do. There is, in this world, an actual place called the War College, where they teach tactical warfare. And all you got to do is just like read some of their stuff because a lot of it gets published. You can go read some of the tactics they use and take some of those tactics for ground warfare and use them in your fucking writing. It's brilliant stuff. Welcome, Keith. How are you doing, buddy? Did you watch the new episode, right?
Oh, yeah. Very well done.
And
like I said, do you agree with me that last 10 minutes is worth the price of admission?
of course, but when you consider who they got as one of the showrunners, for those of us that enjoyed the Battle of the Bastards, I expected nothing less. In fact, that was one of the high watermarks for me with this show. Since you had who they said they had as part of the showrunners for this show, I was expecting a lot of their battle scenes then to be of a certain quality then, since they made a big deal out of making sure that he was going to be one of the showrunners. So yes, I expect a lot more.
I'm glad they finally took out the archers. They always forget to take out the archers, and
well,
But
everybody
they don't
knows.
hit any targets anyway. Those archers are bad.
Well, I think that's the writing. It's not so much the archers. It's like
it's plot armor.
It's plot armor.
Yeah.
I don't like that. The archers would do more damage than they would, and that's why in the battlefield it was interesting that you had these giant rib cages of dragons, and that should have been used. The wagon should have been used every single time there was a fucking flood of arrows coming in. He should have been ducking, not running, ducking, letting it hit, and then speeding on. But I still liked it nonetheless. But yeah, there was definitely plot armor in that scene because the archers are one of the deadliest things in the battlefield. Yep. You look historically at the battle at Stamford Bridge, the Battle of Hastings. Who did a majority of the damage? The archers. I mean, that's what killed King Harold Hardrada, the last Viking king, and it's what King Harold was killed by at Hastings. And it was his archers. It was his archers, the English archers, that killed the Viking king. Then he marched for a little over a week to go down to Hastings to fight another battle. His men were starving and dispersing. They were just leaving during the night. They would just leave. So his army was about one half to just over half its original size. They were starving, exhausted, and they were not prepared for a fresh fucking, army from France to come over. And the archers, I mean, he got shot in the eye. We know he was shot in the eye. But there's arguments as to how he died. Because in our book, when I did the book, what is the name of that tapestry about the Battle of Hastings? I forget the name of it. But the name of the book is named after that tapestry. And in there, the writer of the book wrote all the book, and I rewrote all the combat scenes in the book because he doesn't know how to write combat. He's a very good writer, but he doesn't know how to write combat. So I rewrote all the battle scenes to make them work properly. And if you ever check that book out, I think I have digital copies available for friends I can share with you. But if you're willing to buy them, I can get you the link to buy that book. It's a 124-page graphic novel I did of the battle at Stamford Bridge, what led to that battle, and what led to the Battle of Hastings. And I also depict the battles. When I show the king getting shot in the eye, Harold, but he continues fighting and then just gets lost in the ground battle. And his knights lose sight of him, and then when they finally catch up to him, he's dead. And he was killed, and they eventually tore him cut him into pieces. The
longbow completely revolutionized warfare at the time.
Yes, it did.
I mean, the broadheads would just, or the narrow leaf head arrows would just go straight through armor.
Well,
and like the chainmail is no protection against arrows.
Arrows, including, and I'm including the bolts that were fired in
crossbows.
Were the weapon until gunpowder. That's the bow, the longbow, the English longbow in particular. The way they're made, really, they've got really great distance, and the way they're designed as arrows, they have penetrating power. That's just crazy, unmatched. And that's why the French were like, well, we must get this for us too. And so they did. They got their own version of the longbow. But that was a period of what, 200 years?
Yeah.
That was the weapon.
Yeah.
Imagine that. Imagine the M1 carbine, or no, let's go to the Springfield rifle being the weapon of choice for 200 years. I mean, it just doesn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
So, again, in this show, we've got Matt Smith victorious at the end, having not just taken the head, he fucking took the upper torso and dragged the entire upper torso.
Yeah, and the intestines hang out.
And when they finally show him standing there, that was a bloody fucking fight for him because he's covered in gore.
Do you think he's getting grayscale now because he touched him?
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
It's that is.
I think they would have shown a close up of him touching him to hint that, and they didn't. So that's really a big question mark for me.
A70s, I sent you an invite if you want to insult me on the show.
Yeah, but you know what? I think he's still wearing gloves.
Yeah, but
It is, but that disease is really, really contagious. So I don't know.
Yeah,
and he is rather covered with gore.
And I am curious because
he hacked him to pieces, so he must have gotten his blood on him.
Remember, the cure was in a book, one of the history books. If he is the one that's cured, the first one ever cured, because there was already a record of somebody being cured and how it was done, and I had to repeat it.
Right.
Yep.
So we may be seeing that within this show. I think that'd be kind of interesting because somebody had it done to them, and it had to have been somebody important for them to even bother.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I like Matt Smith's character. I don't want to ever see him fuck again on the show.
Who wants that?
I do not want to see him penetrating towards the camera. I don't want to see that fucking weird flat ass. That's an unnaturally flat ass. There's nothing attractive about that guy. Not to mention looks like a fucking albino when he's naked. It's like,
Hello, Monkey Jibus.
Yeah.
You really should stop talking about him fucking, or somebody will drop the back door.
Yeah,
it's already been dropped.
Inevitable, anyway.
Okay,
good morning.
I wasn't first.
I want to say good morning to that 70s rock fan. I sent you an invite, 70s, if you want to jump on with us.
Darius.
You know, did you guys talk about the royal hunt?
Yes,
already.
But
Okay.
Go ahead, go back to it.
No, I was just going to say, you know.
I mean, you were late to the show, so, you know, I don't expect
it's
you.
not like I worked all night or something. But,
I mean.
But you were later than Keith late.
That is Keith throwing a dig back at me. I like that.
It was, you know, for me, it definitely portends something important. You know, the fact that she actually saw the white stag. And realistically, I think it really does mean that she probably will be fated to sit on the throne. How they're going to get through everything that is built up over all of this will be the unique twist of the series.
Oh, shit. Lindsay just said something interesting. You want to read it, Keith? Out loud?
Okay. I'm wondering if Rihanna and Kristen getting attacked by a wild hog was set up by someone to eliminate them both. Interesting.
I do not trust the hand. The guy playing the hand is a very good actor.
Yeah.
And I suspect he is an enemy to anybody else.
Oh, he definitely is.
Oh, yeah. He and his brother.
Yeah.
You know, and again, it's I think it was planned out to have when the king arrived for his brother to be shouting all that stuff that he was. I mean, this is a major coup for their family because now they have someone of their blood that is in line to eventually ascend to the throne.
Yeah.
You could tell that that's really what they want, you know. I think that I think really that is the end game for a majority of the people there, as far as their reasonings. I think the only people that really don't seem to have an eye on that throne are anyone that is pretty much just staff You know, or someone who I think technically can almost not quite be trusted, but definitely not as duplicitous. You know,
Yeah, because so far we've not seen that standout character yet that is clearly playing. I think they're going to wait and do a reveal as we go along. Hold one thought, because there are people that have jumped in. I haven't said good morning to the Bat Channel. I didn't actually say good morning to you. Lord Thoth, all hail Lord Thoth is here. Joe's Atmosphere. That's somebody's rock fan. I didn't officially say hi to you, but fuck you, Seven. I love you, buddy. Decepticon's Cave of Villains is here. Lindsay, the Cynical Geek, and of course, our good friend, who I love Monkey Jeebus. I really do. I like it in the after show with UFO, man. He gets in there and he just digs in with stuff. And I hated leaving yesterday when I had to leave. But Monkey Jeebus, good morning to all of you guys. And, you know, I'm going to talk about something that was discussed by management about how our show, this show, how I do a show is different from everybody else. And I don't do it on purpose. It's just who I am, that I love you guys. I really do. I love my chat. I love my panels. And I do this with great affection. And the morning shows are meant to be interactive with you guys. And I'm proud when that got noticed by my bosses that I do that way. They're like, you're the only guy. It scares them. It scares them. I mean, seriously, it makes them concerned. But because they're like, you know, you could get hurt that way. And I'm like, well, that's it. When you love something, you always take that risk of being hurt by it.
Lindsay,
I think we got a little taste of that this week. And but I think I handled it correctly. My justice is always quick and complete. It's fast. And I if you get cut off from me, you're cut off. You're not fucking coming back. And that happened this week. And it kind of sucked because I would like to think that we bring a great crowd. But the fact is, as we go, I know there are going to be people that want to infiltrate and hate people like us that think the way we do, that are more about telling a good story and are more about, you know, identity politics. And I will not have that shit on the show. I don't care who you are. I don't care if I like you. If you are all about identity politics, you're not coming on the show. But you need to have both opinions. No, I don't. Who the fuck said that? Right, Keith? Who said that? Nobody said we have to have everybody's opinion on this show. I don't mind differing opinions about things, but goddamn it, if you come in here promoting woke, you can fuck right off. Fuck off. Fuck off. You can totally Cartman and screw these guys. I'm going home. That's what you can do.
Well, to speak to Lindsay's point, I think.
Hold on, read this. Find Gary B that way. Go ahead, John. I'm sorry.
I think the sea snake is rather upset that his daughter wasn't chosen for the new queen, but he has another in.
She's
I think
12 fucking years old.
I know. But
I know
she's 14 now, but
yeah, but at the same time, that's just so creepy. It's creepy.
This is,
but that's royalty. That's real life.
Actually, she's
from a
15
political
now.
standpoint, it would have made sense.
A lot of, I'm not saying royalty. A lot of members of the upper classes would marry their daughters off by the time they were 11. The minute they were old enough, what is that one pervert said to me at a Las Vegas convention? Old enough to bleed, old enough to breed.
Ugh.
And that was the old school way of thinking,
Yeah.
that they were a woman the minute they had their first menses. And so therefore you see this shit. And there are cultures today that still, travelers still have that mindset. They marry their children off young. Agreed, they don't let them go out there and procreate until they're old enough. But they marry kids in wedding dresses, marrying older men. Fucking creepy as shit.
Yeah, Danny has a point there. That scene was so cringy.
Yeah.
Like, betrothed her to her brother, half brother, and problem solved. I was like, what the fuck?
They are Targaryens, so family marriage is not.
Look, incest is best. Put your sister to the test.
But
that is
not that
George R.R. Martin.
Yeah,
That
but
is George R.R. Martin all over.
look at who was suggesting it. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Otto.
it again. It's just it. That's how much he really wants that throne. I mean, that's how much he really, really, really wants that throne. And it's just like, dude, really? Come on, man. I mean, technically you got it. Technically you have it, because I don't think anybody else really understands what Viserys is thinking. He is caught a little bit in a trap there, between his duty and his daughter. And I really do think that he is trying to do the right thing. And he finds himself just as trapped in many ways as his daughter and Daemon. I think as time goes on, I think a lot of that we saw in the first 2 episodes will come back again. And I think before the end, he'll be reminded that realistically, those are probably the only 2 people he can truly trust, no matter what happens between them as people, because it doesn't seem like he can trust anyone else. There's almost nobody that I can think of that is around them that that he can trust.
I really like the scene at the bonfire when Alicent gives him advice, sort of. That's beautiful because that shows they really trust each other.
To a certain extent. I mean, I think again, she's managed to figure out a way of having a relationship with him. But
and she gets to him.
Yeah, but you can also tell she's not in love with him. There is no love there on her part. She's doing what she needs to do.
Right.
She is kind of protective of him to a certain extent because, unlike her dad, I think she feels bad. She, I think, understands a lot more of what's going on than one would think. And I think to a certain extent, she does feel a little bit guilty, just a little bit. There's a little of that in there because of how things have worked out with, being the queen and her ex-best friend and the whole 9 yards. She doesn't like playing that card, but she will if she has to. And that's the reason why I say, really, just almost from the very beginning, it's almost exactly what Daemon said. You can't trust anybody.
Yeah.
It's a court of deception. By the way, I want to play this real quick. I fucking love this. This is the best version of the Game of Thrones theme I've ever heard.
Why did you find that?
It was an episode of South Park.
Because it's all about the wieners.
God.
All right, I'm
put that in the private chat, please.
I think it was the one. I think it was the episodes that tied into the release of South Park Stick of Truth game when they were all playing the medieval RP, live action RPG.
Yep. It was one of the best episodes, and everybody was playing a character from the show, basically. It was a movie. It was one of the movies. It was a 2-parter, and they made it into a movie, and they released it as a film. It's just fucking great. I love it. South Park is, I don't know what. Yes, Gerry loves wieners. I do. I like my wiener a lot. I'm always shiny. Keep me shiny. I'm sorry. I tried to keep a straight face, but Keith made me laugh.
Oh, wow.
Oh, my God. Cam's cat. Oh, yes. Crash Course is here. Good morning, Cam. Can
I say one more thing about that hawk scene?
Hold on. Hi, Shinatsky. Keeping an eye on you, buddy. Why aren't you in here? But go ahead.
I didn't like that scene with the hawk because the hawk knocks Kristen out of the way, and then he goes at Rhaenyra, and she keeps the thing off with her hands. I mean, A wild boar goes at you like that, you're dead. There's no way a 17-year-old girl can hold such a beast back.
No, you
That
got to
was
use
unrealistic. I hated
control. Control is with hand, and then you use your feet to throw somebody.
Yeah, but that thing came running at her with a force, and I
Oh,
don't know.
full force.
Yeah.
That thing's running at about 20 miles an hour.
There's no way she could have done that.
No, she would have got hit and knocked to the ground. She would have been cut open.
Yeah, she would have been gored.
Those tusks. I'm not saying that her midsection would have got it, but her limbs most likely would have been gored by the tusks on that thing. But you know what? It's
more plot armor.
Bothered me.
More plot armor. There you go.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean,
because
again,
she still gets saved. I mean, yes, she stabs it to death, but it's what he does that saves the day and keeps it from killing her.
Well, he could have stabbed her as well. Like the tip of his sword stops like right in front of her face.
Yep. Good morning, Master of the TDS. Good to see you, man.
Also,
Anybody
the
else?
CGI blood on her face was stupid. That was bad.
Okay, I've said good morning to everybody. I don't want to miss anybody.
Sir Preston Cole is his name.
Creston
Kristen
Cole.
Cole, yeah.
I tell you what, it got everybody's attention when she rode in, though, covered in blood.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That was fucking cool.
When
That one
she
dude
walks through
smiling,
that camp, that is so
when
good.
that dude stands up and he's whatever he's got in his hand, he's tearing skin off meat, is what it looked like he was doing, skinning something. And he's got that big shit-eating grin on his face. I was like, that was fucking cool reaction to that.
She should have drunk. She should have drunk a nail, like the like the queen of like Queen Calanthe.
Well, you know, it also showed something else, that she was able to accomplish something on her own terms. Yeah. That is the defining thing that she's got. She is stubborn as F, and she's going to continue to do what she wants.
The problem with her is she's stubborn to a detriment.
Yes,
and we saw that this episode, that it's causing her problems, her stubbornness.
But in many ways, she's a lot like her uncle.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, they're really both almost the same person. You know, in a way, you could also tell that she looked up to her uncle big time, to the way that he handles things. Both of them are very stubborn people. Whereas he likes to make very rash decisions. She will think about things. She feels things deeply, but she doesn't want to give anyone else the satisfaction of knowing that they've gotten to her.
Well, flying into Dragonstone was kind of a rash decision of hers. Yeah. She didn't really think long about that. She was just like, okay, fuck it, I'm doing this.
Well, it was, but it was also like the best decision that they had.
Yeah, she had to act fast.
She saw her dad basically drowning in the of what everybody was doing. And her thing was like, well, this then is the most direct thing. Nobody has a good idea. They were all suggesting just basically wait. And it's like, no, this is the only idea, you know?
Yeah.
Good morning, Stephanie. Stephanie. Nice software, Stephanie. Number 5 is alive.
It just keeps pointing more and more that, you know, ultimately, I think what's going to happen will be a showdown that will really pit them against all comers, basically.
You guys hear that? That was Bags. He just sneezed behind me. The cat, and I'm like, allergic to yourself? Jesus Christ.
Well, I think that Sir Cole, I think he's not exactly the brightest knight on the council. Because I thought it was funny that when they see the White Hart, he pulls out the sword like he's going to go hack the...
Yeah.
I'm like...
Well, defending her.
Dude. Not only that, as soon as he came towards it, it would bolt.
Yeah.
You know, it's... As a person that's hunted deer before, I understand how, you know...
It's the manly thing to do, I think.
Well,
to show her I'm protecting you.
Yeah.
Well, one of the organs you keep with a deer when you hunt is the heart too.
Yeah.
And you can't
Why?
eat it, man. It is so tough. But I'm going to tell you why. Deer stew is one of the most delicious things you will ever have, and you make it with the heart. You cut the heart up and you stew it into little tiny pieces. It's really good. I will tell you a funny story real quick with hunting. Charlie Bruce, you've met Charlie, Anima.
Yeah.
Charlie's mom went out and with her brother and went hunting. And he used 20 gauge shotgun to shoot squirrel. And you think there's nothing. What's funny about that? It's when you try to eat it. It's funny because as you're sitting there and I was having squirrel stew, I kept spitting out I'm like, is this seeds? What is this? And then I looked at it. I'm like, that's shot pellet. And then I asked at the table, okay, which one of you shot a squirrel with 12 gauge shotgun? It's a 22 is what you use. Pellets? And everybody cracked up laughing. And you got to know hunting to get that, to understand why that's funny. You don't fucking use shot with squirrel. They're tiny. You embed all that pellets into the fucking little bit of meat they got. It's almost like frogs.
It's Dick Cheney hunting.
Yeah, my favorite Dick Cheney joke is Dick Cheney works as a greeter at Walmart now. Welcome to Walmart. Go fuck yourself. Welcome to Walmart.
Zelensky, that's the first time we're on the same panel, right?
Is it?
Yeah, I don't think we've been on the panel before.
Well, you got anything to add to that?
I'm a bit out of it because I literally am dealing with heat-related illnesses right now, so I'm going to be a little out of it.
Hold on. Put that back up, Martin. Put that last one back up. First of all, good morning, black ass. Is that a fucking nipple? What the fuck is that? What
Could
in
be a
the
smoke
living
detector.
world of fucking Moses' holy underwear is that?
Could be a condom laying on the white.
I don't know what that was. I don't know if I really want to know. If it's a nipple, just nod.
It served its purpose. It got your attention.
Yeah, it got my attention.
Bye, 70s.
All right, 70. See you
My
later,
70s.
buddy.
Bye.
I really hated my internet was so fucked up this week. Now, look at this. 2 days I've done this show. I've not gotten kicked out by my internet.
Don't jinx it.
Yeah, well, it's too late. I already did. If
Yeah.
it's getting jinxed, it's jinxed. But 2 days without being kicked. But Tuesday night, I tried to do my fucking favorite show to do outside of ours is Toxic Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
And we were doing Black Rain this week, and I was looking forward to talking about Black Rain. I love that movie.
Black Rain was awesome.
Cyberpunk without being cyberpunk.
It was very good. And it's the second time Ridley Scott uses the Ennis Brown house that he used in Blade Runner.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that was nifty. And both of them have major Asian not what do you call it? Environments?
Influences,
because Blade Runner, everything is Chinese, Japanese, Korean, mixed in with German, Hungarian, because that's what City Speak is. It's a mixture of German, Hungarian, Japanese, and Chinese. And
Look
do you know who invented City Speak for the film?
Edward James Olmos.
Edward James Olmos. He went and did that. So all of his dialogue, even though it was already written in English, he's the one who did the translations into the language that he spoke in the film. Edwards is I love that guy. Olmos is like amazing.
Okay, Black Ass is explaining.
Yeah. I can see
It's
that
the
now.
lighter. Oh, okay, now I see it.
Yeah.
Because all ceiling lights look like nipples. Yes, it's true. Some of them look like actual boobs too, which is true.
Well, is it a male nipple or a female nipple? Because that's
female, because they're nice and orby shaped. They're nice and orb shaped. I like when I was like Draco and I were living together, and that recluse was in my ceiling light, was trapped in there, and that was my friend for like 2 weeks. Sitting over me all the time, and I'm like, Man, I'm glad I conquered my arachnophobia, man, because that was nightmare fuel for me. It really was. But I couldn't stop staring at that lamp, and I don't know if it was the recluse that was in it or the fact that it looked like a really pretty boob. But I love that moment in the first Naked Gun when they drive by he says everything makes me think of her, his ex-wife, and it cuts to a shot of 2 cooling domes at a nuclear plant.
Yeah.
Looking like giant breasts on the horizon. That was great. But any final thoughts on this? We're already into our first hour. I'm already out of coffee.
Wow.
I cannot believe it. I drank it way too quickly. 32 ounces of fucking coffee. Gone. But I'm going to have to start using water now. Keep the show going.
You know, my final thought would be this. You have now already seen, you know, Rena and Damon conquer something in that episode. Damon has broken through. Look, he's technically now he's finished with that war, which means now he can turn his attentions back to what he was doing before. He has made a very powerful ally. And also you can tell that he has grown to despise not so much his brother, but the king. And that his daughter has also grown to be a little wary of her dad. I mean, of the king, I should say.
Yeah.
I think both of them are on similar journeys. They're just coming at everything from opposite directions. You know.
Okay, I'm on Reuters right now because I saw your post. Yeah, this looks like it for the Queen.
Yeah. If they're calling the family in, it's not.
The family's all there now. All of them are there. They're at her bedside right now.
Wow.
Even Harry and the annoying one.
Meghan. Yeah.
Meghan. That's sad news.
I hope that whatever is killing her is contagious and she touches Meghan's hand.
Don't say that.
And Prince Charles.
Why would you say that, Gary? Because I don't care.
Yeah, no, I would be hoping that she has contingency to get Charles bumped off before she does. But no, for the topic at hand, I haven't watched the series, but I know the history from everything. It's just murder and incest will solve everything in the end. That is the Game of Thrones way.
Well, in many ways, incest was actually not frowned upon with royalty. They saw that as a means of continuing the bloodline in a more direct fashion. Seriously, that's how they thought.
Yeah.
But that's what led to the Habsburg lip, you know, because royalty really did think that was a good way to go, and then you get deformations happening.
That was an incest bunch.
Yeah, we can't have any of those filthy, outsiders risking any legitimate claim to a throne. So let's just degrade over generations.
Hold on, let me go get his name. What is that show on Showtime with the poor Irish family in Chicago? Shameless. Based on the British series. There it is. Jeremy Allen White, who plays Lip Gallagher, has the Habsburg lip. If you weren't aware of that, let me pull up a picture of his ass. Not his ass, but his lip.
I was going to say.
Yeah.
Backdoor Gerry strikes again.
This is. There you go.
You trust him to do anything.
What the fuck? I don't give a shit about your goddamn. We need money. Wikipedia, we need money. I can go get it. like everybody else when they want to support their shit. All right, there we go. Pictures up. I'm going to share screen. This is a good example of what the Habsburg lip looks like. And that was brought about by decades of incest within the Habsburg family. That causes the lip to look exactly like that. Now we look at it and we go, wow, that's cool looking. It did not look cool when it was first happening.
I'm more concerned about that nose.
Well, he's Hebrew. He's Jewish. So
yeah, but that's impressive, even for a Jew.
Well, he's a good-looking dude. I think he's got a future. He's got a hit TV show right now. What is that show he's doing now, Keith?
I have no idea.
Let me go look at it. It's The Rental. Was it that one? No, it's not that one. God damn it. Let me look at TV. I was in the wrong spot. There it is. The Bear. This show.
Yeah.
Over on FX. And it's getting good numbers.
Yeah.
I've not watched it yet. I wait to hear from other friends that don't like woke shit to review it, so I know that I'm not going to waste my time getting angry at it. But there you go.
Unlike the Ring of Power, that's getting good numbers. So. I'm sorry. I didn't know. I feel bad.
Hey.
Amazon said it made 25 million views.
Yeah.
Keith, just one
Yeah,
thing real quick.
I'll believe
there is
that
one program that Rings of Power has beaten. Rings of Power did manage to do better than Miss Marvel.
Yeah, 25 million views is not that good.
That's not that high of a bar. I mean, Miss Marvel is a good show, but it's not that high of a bar.
Yeah, how many views did that show get?
Like 750,000 or something an episode.
Because I like that show. I really found it funny. It was sort of like a Joan Rivers story, and because Joan Rivers is fucking funny. Her and Phyllis Diller were two of the funniest female comedians going at the time. So I like the fact that they're mentioned in the show as contemporaries and shit like that. Yeah, look, I don't believe they're going to get that good of numbers. I don't believe them when they say 25 million. I call bullshit on that. And you watch those numbers drop drastically.
Technically, it's only a waste of 500 million right now. It's $1 billion total they have specified for that entire supposedly 5-year run.
Yeah. And I bet you a lot of people went to watch it just to see how bad it is. I'm telling you.
The important thing with it, and this is even like something Cameron talks about, it's not what you premiere at. It's,
the second.
What were your ratings last week?
Yeah, what were your ratings going on? It's like, those first numbers. It's like George Lucas knew not to get excited about a great opening weekend for Star Wars. He's on the beach in Hawaii with Steven Spielberg. Spielberg even turned to him and says, let's wait and see what those numbers are next week. Then the second week came in and they were even bigger. And that's when they started planning more Star Wars together and Indiana Jones. That was the birth of Indiana Jones, was week 2 of Star Wars after its release in 1977. The Queen is cool, level head, and I see F-Tard's long live the Queen. Well, her one son's not an F-Tard. The one Harry, he's
the grandson.
I think they're not going to last much longer after she's gone because she's kind of just the establishment figure.
Look, it's a fact that many in England are against it, but I do believe it's still a majority that support the idea of the royal family.
Yeah, but Charles is king. I don't know.
The royal family is like, they're not in charge of the actual government. They agreed to step down in order for all this money to be funneled their way for what, nearly 100 years? Or when was the point where they stopped having political power in England?
Right.
trying to
I'm
remember.
sorry. I'm sorry that's happening to you, Cam. Yeah, reboot. I promise we'll still be here when you're rebooted. Okay.
But either way,
now that he's gone, let's go, guys, and pretend we're not doing a show anymore.
But either way, with the royal family is literally a group of people living in luxury on the taxpayers' dime because of like some old world glory that they no longer have. Especially the newest generation. You could have argued with Diana and Charles, like PR wise, there was that fairy tale aspect they saw, but that's all it is. It's just image. They don't do anything. They're basically just celebrities. They're the fucking Kardashians of us.
I stayed home to watch that wedding when I was a kid.
I saw photos of it.
Yeah, I kind of remember what that was 81. So,
I mean, I've hung around outside of Buckingham Palace. I love being there. I was out on the fountain way out front, where they got that roundabout, and then I hung out there. I got to go up close. I saluted one of the guards as a kid. I was 13. Saluted him.
Scott, yeah, no,
Charles can't be king. The next in line is Princess Di's oldest boy,
William.
Yeah,
and he's not wackadoodle. He's I think that he's the next one. He's the one in line. He'll become king. And I think he'll probably be the last because it's going to come to an end because they do perform function within the country. They perform a function, but the fact is their leadership is done through the voting process. And but it's the day that Britain gets tired of having royalty, that's when you'll see it get voted out.
Yeah.
Oh, don't worry, Monkey Jeebus. I have that effect on a lot of people. In fact, some people have developed variations of Tourette's where they just suddenly tell me to go fuck myself. So.
Hey, Shinatsky, you're all right.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's like, oh my god, I did not know the royal family had so many fans.
Yeah, were you here, Joe, yesterday when Don and I kind of dug into NASA? Because my problem with NASA is it's too connected to the U.S. Air Force and CIA.
Well, I mean, it's a lot of dumb stuff that they've done. I mean, we got rid of the space shuttle program because of how expensive it was. But isn't that ironic that the reason why we switched to it was because it was meant to be less expensive? And oh god, don't get me started.
Billion-dollar missions.
Don't even get me started.
The ground.
Just
okay.
Oh god. We should be a lot further along than we are. I agree with Elon Musk, at least in that respect. I mean, we have basically we have effed around too long.
What?
Yeah, and I tell people all the time, if we have been secretly through the Air Force and CIA formed bases on the moon all this time, that is definitely on the dark side. It is not on the lit side because you can see too much detail with modern telescopes. You can see way too much detail, and they're not going to have it on this side of the moon. They will put it where it's the unobserved side. But and that's where he believes that the ancient or active alien bases is on the dark side, which we've heard a lot of reports of that shit. We've heard through different articles, astronauts, reports of astronauts talking about this shit. So, I'm not a denier. I find it interesting, but do not come to me about Hollow Moon. Don't fucking talk to me about that. Shut the fuck up.
We should be where they are in For All Mankind. That's where we should be technologically. We should have.
Even though that show's kind of scary, because I think they built it on an interesting premise. What if Russia had beat us to the moon? But I think realistically, they are kind of showing how Russia's having trouble.
Yeah.
because communism doesn't fucking work. And the way we broke the Soviet Union's back was through a mixture of military and space. And we made them compete with us.
Yep.
And by making them compete with us, we forced them to spend more money than they fucking had. And by the time the wall did fall, which, by the way, if you didn't know, historically was an accident, them taking down that physical wall, it was really too late for them. And a lot of people give a lot of credit to Reagan. Well, they give a lot of credit to Reagan for doing it, but actually it was NASA working in unison with U.S. Air Force, not the Department of Defense. It was the U.S. Air Force, because they are a branch of the U.S. Air Force, whether they admit to it or not.
Yeah.
Because all of this shit, and this is what we talked about. And he, Don said, "You forgot." And I'm like, no, that is exactly what I just said. I think he half listens to me sometimes, Don. He tunes me out and then goes, catches one thing and then says, well, you forgot to mention. I'm like, no, that is exactly what I just said. The U.S. Air Force became its own thing weeks after Roswell. I said that. And then he says, no, what you're forgetting. And then he went into the detail and he brought up the stuff that happened previously. I said, no, but it was within weeks of Roswell, the recovery, that they broke from the U.S. Army because they didn't want to share the intelligence with U.S. Army. U.S. Army has always been kept out of the loop. All branches were. That's why the Navy is doing what it's doing. It's telling the Air Force to go fuck itself by releasing those Tic Tac videos. And they're forcing the Air Force's hand. Who is in charge of Space Force? Who do you think's in charge of it? Air Force. That's, of course, it's just an offshoot of the Air Force. They broke for a reason away from the U.S. Army. Immediately following that, the CIA was formed by Harry S. Truman. One of the things he regretted and told Kennedy that personally, if you do anything, disband the CIA. That's why there are so many rumors that the CIA played a part in his assassination. I don't think they physically did, but I think they turned a blind eye because they had the intel. And if you hear that the FBI works within the borders of the U.S. and CIA only outside, you're insane. The CIA works within this country all the fucking time. And
yeah,
FBI knows it. They don't like it. They don't like it, but they know they do.
Yeah, the CIA's mandate is about, hey, we only deal with things outside the United States. Yeah. And that's like going, the United States government only goes to war with bad people. We never topple governments that are legit, ever.
The one thing I will say, and I always give us a little bit of credit for, there's no profiteering by the U.S. off of countries we disable. And because they immediately say, oh, look what you did. You did this for the oil. Show me where we profited from that.
We didn't, but corporations did.
Corporations do. That's a fact. And the fact is we support corporations. And that helps our economy. So anything that helps the economy. But the fact is as a country, we should have benefited from those oil fields after all the fucking life that was lost and life that was put in danger to take them back and protect them. Goddamn right we should profit from, but we didn't. We didn't. Well, corporations do. And that bugs me.
There's an argument to be made if we're basically doing all these things, we should just admit that we're actually like into empire building instead of this wishy-washy crap. Because at least that would be honest. At least we could actually, further of getting some sort of benefit instead of just going into a country, bombing it, destabilizing the leadership, and then just going, okay, it's stable now.
Yeah, and this will be the last thing because I don't want to get into too much of this for too long. But with Iraq, it was obvious where we fucked up. We shut their military down. And what had happened? What immediately happened is they went and started working with the Syrians to become the guerrillas that fought against the U.S. military and were directly involved with bombing their own citizens on June 24th of 2004. So that was our fault, our government's fault.
When I was a kid, I didn't think I had a chance at success.
Oh, you didn't? I'm sorry.
I'm sorry to hear that. I hope that.
What the heck was that?
I have no clue. I don't know who that came through. But anyway, I'm looking forward to this week's new episode. I got to tell you, happily surprised with House of Dragons, because I was expecting a complete shit show with Ann Sarnoff having been involved directly. Yes, I'm seeing some woke shit in there, but I got to tell you, there's more good story than there is woke shit. And interesting to me to see that, because it's a fantasy world. Why wouldn't there be people of different color and culture? We saw it in the original Game of Thrones, but now we see it going just even a step further. And I'm like, yeah, I'm fine with this. It doesn't bother me one fucking bit. I like it. I like the cast. It's a really good cast on this new season, this new show, except for the princess, because really they should have got two different actors that look alike to play the younger version and then the older version, because now she just looks like a taller 12-year-old. Her face, she looks like a fucking 12-year-old in the face.
That five head's a problem too.
What's that?
I said that 5 head's a problem too.
5 heads. Which one's that?
5 head instead of 4 head.
Oh, hey! I like women with big foreheads. I do. Fuck
One of the things they got going
Fuck
for
you.
them is the fact that they got the original creator, so literally he can just go, "I've signed off on this." There isn't too much of an argument to be made.
Yeah, because adapting is so much easier. You don't have to be a good writer to be able to adapt. Benny Weiss, Chris Chibnall, proof.
You know, again, that's terrible writers. It's great that he's there. It is. I feel good that he's there doing that.
But he still owes people a book. Anyway,
again,
sarcasm.
No matter how much you complain about Benioff and Weiss, as far as I'm concerned, 75% of the problem with the show was Mr. Martin pulling out, and that came out wrong. Huh.
Yeah.
Anyway,
well, now the question is, will he stick around, or will it be a case of like 2 years goes by and he's like, I'm just collecting checks now because everything's set up.
I was collecting checks before. You know, he's told 7 to 10 different versions of the story of why he stopped participating. He does things on a whim.
All right, for those of you that saw the backdoor thing, here you go. You're welcome.
Wrong. I'm gonna go check the back door. Back door.
The entire series. The new one is a miracle that it exists in this day and age.
Yeah,
it is, and of course, this is just for me.
What is best in life? To crush your enemies, see them driven before you, and to hear the lamentation of your women.
I love that fucking movie. This is the 40th anniversary this year.
Yep.
40th anniversary. Blade Runner, The Thing, Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan, and Conan the Barbarian. There are other films that came out that year.
Which technically is pretty much a Missouri movie.
Yeah, because, you know, the...
Question then, with a lot of those.
The composer of the film, the composer of the music is from Missouri.
Basil Polidorus.
The director of the film is from Missouri. And that's John Milius.
Yep.
And the lead actors.
Arnold is not from Missouri. What the fuck are you talking about?
Actress.
Oh, Sandow Bergman. Yeah, she's from St. Louis. Hi, my name is Arnold. I'm from Kansas City.
Yeah, Sandow Bergman. Sandow Bergman's from Kansas City.
We shall forever claim Arnold.
Yes. Now I got to tell you, Sandow Bergman was my real serious first sex crush. I absolutely was so into her.
That is the only thing I truly have over you, my friend.
It wasn't from Conan. It wasn't from Conan. I was in London and I saw a chorus line with her in it. And then she was also in another film before Conan, which was the biopic about the great Bob Fosse movie.
Yeah.
I forget the name of that film. She was in that.
Yeah. She was.
She had legs all the way up to her neck.
Oh my God. I mean, meeting her, I was just like, oh my God. Oh my God.
I have never seen Conan. What? Are you meaning Conan O'Brien? Because he wasn't in the movie.
Or maybe in movie theaters. Maybe.
I think that's what he meant.
Okay.
It's an incomplete sentence.
Yeah. The thing I also like about 1982, it was the first year that I was taking myself to R-rated movies. Blade Runner was the first R-rated movie I saw without my dad. So he couldn't cover my eyes or my ears. Dead serious. He fucking would do that shit.
So, do you think we'll ever have another year like that anytime soon?
No, not with.
No, we've come close. 84 with Ghostbusters, and there are some other films that came out that year. But 82 is really just one of the best years for movies. It really was.
And also
in
a way,
and E.T. tried to ruin it.
1998 was another one. A lot of good stuff came out.
For me, 82 was great because you also had a few things on TV. I mean, you were able to get Police Squad on television that same year during that summer.
Nobody watched it though.
Nobody.
But I blame the network. They did not promote it.
Sorry, I was too busy watching stuff like the A-Team and.
I watched that. I watched it with my dad. My dad and I loved watching the A-Team together. I laughed at it because I thought it was funny that nobody ever really got killed. You'd see people being blown up by explosions in full torso, full body, wives, and arms, everything waggling. I'm like, yeah, that's not how that shit works.
And they always hit these bushes, and it just seems to flip the vehicle.
Yeah, that's amazing. That little bush fucking flipped that truck. It's like, and then you see what's that sticking out of the bottom? It looks like a telephone pole.
They always drug the black man because the black man didn't want to fly. That's
right. Racist motherfuckers, Mr. T. Disrespected.
Yeah.
So you've never seen the movie at all. Black Eyes, you need to see that fucking movie. That is as toxic as you get.
Yep.
I have a confession to make here. I haven't seen it either.
Oh no!
I'm not a big Arnold fan.
Okay.
I haven't seen
Reason number 2: we can't be friends.
I think Gerry is giving up on me at this point.
I'm just that broke me. I don't even know what to say now. Tickle Trunk is here. What's up, buddy?
I'm so sorry.
I want to say good morning to Black Ass, James Ritter. Thank you guys for showing up. It's the end of the show. No kidding. I really have a lot of stuff I got to get onto. Plus, I have phone calls today. I'm supposed to talk to a journalist friend of mine today, and I'm suspecting we're going to hear more bad news about Missouri from her. But 1982 and 1984 were two of the best years for films. And that's a fact. So, yeah, Cam, you're right.
With today being what it is, let me at least go out on this note and say this. While today is the anniversary of Star Trek, one of the things that I've, for those that actually follow me on social media that I've tried to put forward is that one of the biggest reasons for that was because it had one of the best writing staffs for the kind of show that it was. If you look into the background of every single person that was hired to write for that show, they were the right person at the right time for the right job. And of the people that were working on that show, you either had people that either had a background in science fiction and fantasy, or at least dabbled in it, or fans. Some of them were already Hugo Award-winning authors going into it.
Yep.
You don't have that today. You really don't. There's almost nobody on staff of any of the current Star Trek programs that even approach half of what the original writing staff had. You know, Gene Roddenberry was smart going out and getting some of the people that he did to write for that show. You know, and even though you had a lot of people that had a smattering of everything that they were able to do, you still had people like Samuel Peoples, who even years later ended up writing for Land of the Lost. I mean, they just couldn't stop writing. They loved it. They loved science fiction. They loved fantasy. I cannot say that about any of the people writing current day Star Trek. You know, those people hate it. Hate it.
Well, Star Trek was inspirational to scientists, future scientists, engineers. And you're not going to get that from this new series.
And this was the only show to actually have a copy of it given to be placed in the Smithsonian Institute. The only television show to receive that honor. So, again, today belongs to Star Trek, not Star Trek : whatever name you want to put after it. Star Trek, 1966. So,
I'm going to play this now because this is from that movie Mile 22, and I tell people about this that too few people caught the joke here, and I don't know if it was even meant as a joke. And it's supposed to be this dramatic, serious fucking moment, and I'm rolling laughing when he said, I'm like, no fucking way. You just said that too, Mark Wahlberg.
That's great.
I fucking love that. It's a good film. If you've never seen it, Peter Berg directed it. Peter Berg's one of my favorite action directors. He's anti-woke, and he does action films in a way that just fucking really makes heroes of every character that's fighting. And Kingdom is one of my favorite films by him. It was the only film that showed the military by using the FBI.
Never got to use the term classic. There's only one Star Trek. Only one Star Trek.
Yeah, TOS is just simply Star Trek. When you say Star Trek, it means the original series. It's just like people try to correct me and go, you need to say A New Hope. I went, no, I say Star Wars. Because that was the name of the first film.
Because all other Star Trek shows are spin-offs and or reboots or sequels too.
Are within its
garbage.
True. Or that's the reason why they include the colon. That's the reason why I say it's Star Trek, no colon. Don't need a colon. Just Star Trek.
You know why?
Hey, Keith.
Star Trek, that's not ass.
Kid, I think exactly that one is for you.
Oh, the reboot is finished filming? Rock and roll. I'm ready for it.
Yeah.
I hope. Just the problem is the creative staff is there going to be too much TDS, because I've seen that a lot from Joe, unfortunately.
You know what? I think Joe has the ability to put together a really good writing staff. I don't know if his abilities as a writer are the same as what they were before, but they almost don't need to be, as long as you realize that the formula that worked is the formula that Gene Roddenberry came up with, which is hire science fiction writers to write science fiction. You do not hire people from the freaking Gilmore Girls to write science fiction.
Hey, Kyle.
Well, it's going to help that he's not going to write every single episode for 3
you
seasons.
shouldn't have to.
Straight.
Yeah,
Good morning, Mighty Orbots. All right. I got to do the outro, man. I'm done.
Yeah, let's go.
I got to end the show. I'm sorry, guys. Dr. Dragon, thanks for being here. Gap After Dark, The Dork Knight, D. Bud Martin, Penny, Christopher Carroll. My wife is on a call, therefore I'm muted. I think we lost Marshall. And Eastland Burkholder. Fuck, I'm going to read everything in the private chat. I hope he didn't write anything embarrassing. Eastland Burkholder, Tin Man, Darius Munchausen, Sox Bulletin, Shanatsky, Scott Lewis, The Bat Channel, Lord Thoth, Is Gary Circumcised, Joe's Atmosphere, That 70s Rock Fan, You thought you were going to embarrass me? I just fucking embarrassed you.
You can't embarrass Gerry.
Because you wrote that. Anyway, that 70s rock fan. Yeah, I deny that. That 70s rock fan, Decepticons Cave of Villains. Lindsay the Cynical Geek. Monkey Jeebus. Yes, he is circumcised. How do you know that, Martin? That's weird that you know the answer to that. Cam's Crash Courses. Master of the TDS. Stephanie Beatty. Black Ass. James Ritter, Mr. Tickle Trunk. Zax, a.k.a. Kyle. Mighty Orbots and Mark D with a C. You guys show up late. I don't know how to help you. Stone Pie Media, good morning. And that is it. Of course, I want to thank the panel, John, Keith, Ringo, and Paul, Martin, Shanatsky, and of course, Anima Confusa. They need to make great movies like the Soldier. Yeah, that was a great. I love that film. It is a sidequel, not a sequel, a sidequel to Blade Runner. With that, I want to thank everybody for being here and play this.